It is now rolling. Okay.
So are we supposed to kind of be like this?
Okay, so can you guys tell me about the beginning? How did it begin?
Well, let me tell you a little story.
If you stand at any given point, you're going to be out of frame.
Yeah, okay.
So if I stand, I need to go like this?
Yes, perfect.
Hey, squat stand? You can squat if you want.
Squat. Both of you.
There's Mitchell.
There's Penland's.
Mitchell and the boys.
It was actually your house that you were working out of?
Yeah, we started the company in October 2009, and at that point, we were starting completely over. So Brandon had a very small office in Alabama, I think, and then we were running the main part of Symmetry, which wasn't much at that time, out of our house. That little spare bedroom right there is where, when we talk about starting Symmetry in the spare bedroom, that was the spare bedroom right there.
At the time that you were running out of your house, Linwood actually had a small office up here.
Yep.
So when we first moved into the office, this was actually Linwood's place, as you can see. I think Linwood was in here, a couple staff people here. He had it all the way back to this wall, so it was one big room initially.
We kicked Linwood out to the little house next door here, actually, and he was fine with that. To kind of help Symmetry with the bigger picture, we needed the more space, and so we were originally just took that small corner section of the upstairs of the building. Fire truck. I blew the camera over.
I should have gave him one of these.
And then as we started to grow and started to need more space, it was nice because the whole upstairs of this building was open. It was vacant, so we slowly kind of started taking a little bit more at a time.
We wanted people to feel really comfortable, like the comfort that we had working out of our own homes. We had our dogs there. We had all of our own personal items there, and we think people can be, a little bit more productive in a relaxed environment and have a much more enjoyable work experience.
Yeah. One of our core values is we have fun and we get stuff done. And so when you walk into our office, that's what you're going to see.
Yeah, a lot of people casual, feeling at home.
Yeah, but they get stuff done.
They get a lot done.
When people are happy, it's just easier to stay focused and get stuff done.
I guess the only thing that we haven't figured out yet is how to get our skateboard bowl over here at the new office.
I know, I do miss that. I really did. That was fun, being able to jump out of that spare bedroom office and have a stressful day and grab your board and go out there and skate a couple laps in the skateboard ball. So this building was built in 1920. That sounds funny to say it like I knew that.
But you do know it now.
Since Brandon just looked it up, this building was built in 1920. That confirms
something that most people don't really realize is that...
And we didn't until 2 seconds ago.
No, we loved the fact that it had history, but it was also some circumstances as well. We were lucky in that I don't even know that we knew how awesome this building was when we first took it over. It was just a really good situation for us because, again, the real estate company that was in there needed to rent out some space, and so it was much more affordable than some downtown space or even Black Mountain space. And
we did always like the aspect that it had character to it. It's got the wood floors and it's brick, and it's just not that kind of stuffy, corporate-y environment that, would probably be the natural progression that most companies would go towards. So we just thought that it fit our character and what we wanted from a vision standpoint for Symmetry a lot better.
The guy that owned the building, that also was the owner of the real estate company, had a restaurant downstairs, and when we decided to build to purchase the building, we loved the idea that it had a restaurant. I guess a lot of our thoughts initially were, should we just use it as employee space? Should we create lunches and, just an atmosphere for our staff?
So originally it was, okay, well let's keep the kitchen equipment and let's almost have like a little cafeteria for the staff and for us and a good place for us to kind of gather and eat. And then one thing leads to another, and 3 years later, it's a full-blown restaurant called Native Kitchen and Social Club.
Back in the 50s and 60s, Swannanoa was the happening place in Buncombe County, and after the mill died out and went overseas, everything kind of died with it. And so it was it was really important to us to try to create something that could hopefully bring this area back a little bit and show how unique and how much character is in Swannanoa. And I think that was a lot of kind of the thought process that went into when Sarah, approached all of us about wanting to actually make it a restaurant. That was a lot of what we kind of thought about. We got really excited about the idea of, I guess, not needing to survive on a restaurant, but actually being able to put some creativity in it and kind of come at it with an open mind and create something that would just be really good for the community. And I think that's what's made us that's what's made us the most excited about what Native has become. Is it's allowed us to hold a lot of events here, a lot of charitable events, and give back just a ton of money to Swannanoa.
And a cool place for the community and all the locals here to have a place to gather, and hence the social pub. It's kind of a cool atmosphere in there. There's live music. Brandon gets to play get his musical side of him out on stage a lot down there, which is pretty cool.
If you can't get a gig at your own restaurant, then you got a really problem. Stink. I think the character of this building is what initially, we were so excited when we got in here, just thinking how we could eventually expand out and have the whole building. And then, never did we think 5 years ago that not only would we have expanded, but that we would have a restaurant downstairs and own the building. Yeah. I think we purchased the building in 2013, end of 13, I think.
Yep.
And then expanded next door in 2000 and I think the end of 14. So we started that process, and that building was a lot of different things. It was a church. I think most recently it was a printer shop, but I think what most people know of that building around here was an old post office.
It's the original Swannanoa post office.
Yeah.
We bought the building, and then we completely gutted it, remodeled the whole thing, and now you have a lot more office space, more room for us to grow into.
Got some studio space in there as well. So our telemarketing team works out of that office, as well as the majority of our marketing outside of lead generation.
Yeah, and it was nice for us to have a studio, like a state-of-the-art studio that we built in this office, because, up until that point, we were using the restaurant in the mornings to shoot like our March Madness, our November to Remember, some of those videos.
You get a lot of phone ringing and machines kicking on. It's not perfect.
Chefs walking in and out and that kind of thing.
Unlimited coffee, though. It did have its benefits.
6-7 years ago, we were working out of spare bedrooms, and there was just the two of us with maybe 1 or 2 employees. And now we're outgrowing 8,000 square feet of space, and there's, between the two buildings, probably somewhere around 50 employees, 45, 50 employees, and here we are looking for more growth, and that's a pretty cool thing to know that we're still at the beginning stages of this.
Yeah, the Symmetry family is growing.
That's right.
Should we roadblock this road off?
Yeah, really.
Just great big traffic jam.
We should.
Yeah.
We should steal a police car and park it right there in the middle.